told him that he killed his two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, I did that, and placed a smiley face emoji.
Like, they raid your crib, and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
Recent reports are saying that YNW Melly might be getting the end sentence, and he is not having it. Melly and his teams of lawyers are going above and beyond to make sure that he stays alive. But with the way the case has been going, it's looking very bleak. Now, for those who have been out of the loop, Jamel Demons, better known as YNW Melly, has been locked up for a minute now, facing some serious heat. He's accused of taking out two of his closest friends, Anthony YNW Sackchaser Williams and Christopher YNW Juvie Thomas Jr. Now, this case has been dragging on for what feels like forever. We're talking mistrials, courtroom battles, and missed evidence. But things are getting out of hand because whispers are getting louder that the death penalty might be back on the table. Since his arrest back in 2019, Melly's been sitting behind bars for 6 years, 2,159 days to be exact. That's a long time to be locked up without a guilty verdict. And through all of this, prosecutors have been coming at him with everything they've got. They're moving like they're on a personal mission to make sure he never sees the outside again. Then, just when everybody thought this case couldn't take another wild turn, a new judge steps in. And this judge, he's not playing around. He takes one look at the case, realizes how long Melly's been in there. He straight up asked the prosecutors to give him a real reason why YNW Melly is still behind bars, or else he's dropping that bond the very next day. The prosecution knew they had to come up with something quick. And what did they do? They brought up King Von.
The YNW Melly. I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated. Yeah, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated, homie. Homie, when you take a life, homie.
They're trying to tie Melly to Von, claiming that their connection somehow makes him a threat. But is it really that simple? Because if you break it down, this is looking a lot like guilt by association. Now, let's just speculate for a second. Imagine if Melly, back when Von was still here, asked him for advice on how to handle his situation with YNW Sackchaser and YNW Juve. We already know Von's energy, so you can guess what kind of advice he probably would have given. And now, there's this rumor circulating in the streets. A rogue O-Block member allegedly hinted that Melly had a conversation with Von about his two friends before everything went down. Here's what he had to say.
YNW Melly told King Von.
Did Von really tell you that Melly told him that he killed his two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Von was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? What the bam? I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around?
According to sources close to the situation, YNW Melly was allegedly venting that Sackchaser and Juvie were putting financial pressure on him. And the prosecution, they believe that's the real reason things took a turn. Here's the deal. Melly and his people, including Borland, had a registered business LLC. They made money through shows, merch, and promotion, and the cash was getting split between the four YNW members. Now, here's where things get tricky. Sackchaser and Juvie were reportedly entitled to 25% each. That's 50% of Melly's show money, and that's a big chunk of change. So according to the prosecution, Melly didn't want to give up that cut, and that's where the tension started. And to back up their claims, the prosecution brought receipts. They revealed a text message sent from Melly's phone just hours after everything went down, allegedly admitting to it all.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, I did that, and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly account says what?
After that, SHH.
They also came through with a saved Facebook Live video from just 6 hours later, showing Melly and Borland in a parking lot straight up celebrating. They were dancing, laughing, zero signs of stress or sadness for their fallen people.
Where it shows YNW Melly and Borland's reaction to the crime only 6 hours after it was committed.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive, turned still. Hey. But no, still turned. Regardless of what happened, you already know.
Now, this new evidence shook up the courtroom, making things look really bad for Melly, but his legal team wasn't about to let this go down without a fight. But his lawyers fired back, pulling up text messages between Melly and his ex-girlfriend, Mariah, showing his real-time reaction when everything went down. They even dropped GPS evidence, claiming Melly was running down the street and hiding in a bush, basically saying he was a victim too and barely made it out of a situation with some rival crew.
That would be the part where he's saying that someone just shot the car up and was trying to shoot him. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like, there's some, yeah, he's like, yeah, there's some, I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Zach and Juvie? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're.
And that's not all. The defense pointed out that no weapon was ever found, poking some serious holes in the prosecution's case.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what.
But even with all that, the judge wasn't about to let anything slide. He wanted to make sure every angle was covered before making a move. So he asked for one final piece of evidence. That's when the prosecutors went all in, pulling out physical evidence straight from the scene. The big one, the Jeep that Melly and his two friends were riding in that night. They even brought back footage from the old trial where Sergeant Williams went over the vehicle and did multiple tests, saying with full confidence this was no drive-by.
3. From the driver's side back seat.
As to the shot that killed Christopher Thomas, where did that come from?
Driver's side back seat.
No.
My determination was that this is not a drive-by, and it's based upon this at a stationary position when all but one of these rounds are going in. The one round that has some movement in it, which is round site L here, the actually moving in that.
According to Sergeant Williams, the shot came from the back left seat of the car. This wasn't some random street situation. It happened inside the vehicle. And if Melly was in that seat, well, you already see where this is going. But the prosecutors weren't done yet. To drive the point home, they brought YNW Juvie's mother to the stand. She confirmed exactly who was sitting where that night.
Your full legal name for the jury?
Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the victims in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
Now, here's where things get real messy. This case isn't just about the original accusations anymore. Witness tampering charges just got thrown into the mix. And it's not just Melly caught up in it. His close associate, YNW Borland, is in the fire too. This whole thing just went up a level. So how did all this even happen? Allegedly, everything comes back to Melly's ex-girlfriend, Mariah Hamilton. Sources close to the case say Mariah is one of the few people who might know the real story about what went down. And according to several media outlets, the feds started digging into her iCloud. That's when they allegedly found something off. They believe Melly was pressuring her to stay quiet and not take the stand. And if that's true, that's a huge problem. Witness tampering is serious. It carries a life sentence, no matter how the original case turns out.
You have an opportunity to read the statement you gave in 2018.
I read the statement.
Okay.
I don't recall. I don't remember anything from that statement, but I do remember my deposition.
This is a deposition that would have been 6 months ago?
Yes.
Okay. I want to go, and when you spoke, you remember speaking with law enforcement in December of 2018?
I remember speaking with them, but I don't remember what they look like. I don't remember their names, but I do remember talking to someone.
Okay, so Ms. Holmes, I want to ask you, were you honest and truthful with law enforcement when you spoke with them?
I would hope so. I mean, it was 2018. I went through a lot during that year, so I'm not sure where my mindset was at that time.
Did you lie to law enforcement?
I would hope not. I don't remember what I said back. It was like 5 years ago.
Oh, of course. I understand it's been a long time. So in terms of the time frame, that was closer in time to the incident? Of October 26th of 2018?
If that's where you guys are saying it is.
You don't even remember?
I don't remember. Like I said, 2018 was a very hard year for me. My husband just went to prison. My father died. I had a lot going on, so I was really out of it.
Okay. And in terms of your conversations with the police officers that morning?
Yes. I do remember that they kind of bullied me and threatened my daughter to take her to jail for accessory after the fact.
But here's where things get even crazier. Mariah was a straight up no-show at the first trial. A warrant went out for her arrest, and word on the street is she fled the country to dodge it. But that didn't last long. Authorities caught her slipping when she came back on January 26th. Now, how did the feds even know about Mariah's call with YNW Melly right after the situation went down? Turns out it was Mariah's own mother who gave a statement saying she was on the phone with Melly right after the alleged incident. But then, during the first trial, she switched up, saying she wasn't in her right state of mind when she made that claim.
Why we haven't seen you or heard from you?
You guys haven't seen or heard from me because I'm currently wanted. I've tried to get the warrant lifted plenty of times, but it's just been like a constant battle with my lawyer and the prosecutor. So I've just been, laying low, trying to get the warrant lifted before I could even come in and, speak my part.
Let's talk about that. So, and by the way, you are in your lawyer's office.
I was in shock. I was in disbelief. I didn't think it was true. I thought it wasn't true at all until I actually came down there and found out about it.
Who told you, or how'd you find out?
Can you answer that question?
Oh, the police are the ones that really told you the story.
Huh?
It was the police who told you about the incident, I think.
Right, yeah.
So
I found out through the police, yeah.
They came to you and told you. And what was your reaction? Were you just shocked? Did you break down into tears? Did you say, what's happening?
Yeah, I was crying. I was terrified. I was scared. I was scared for everybody in the situation.
There's been a lot of back and forth that he had communicated to you about it and said that he was there, that it was a drive-by. Is that not true?
No. Wait a second. Mariah, Mariah's position, Jesse.
Now her lawyer's coming in because they know these are the big questions here. Oh man, it's so weird.
She was never told by either Melly.
Complicated, right? But it doesn't stop there. YNW Juby's father wasn't about to sit back and just accept what he was hearing. He started doing his own digging, talking to people, trying to piece everything together. Allegedly, he found out that Melly was using coded language with Mariah to try and control what she would say. We're talking notes being passed, messages through intermediaries, the whole nine. He even had code names, allegedly calling Mariah Rihanna and Rocky's baby mom when discussing her role in all of this.
It's this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person and then that person.
Saying like to me, they going through extreme measures, trying to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom.
And just when you think things can't get any wilder, they do. YNW Borland is now caught up in his own situation. The feds raided his spot and reportedly found something real interesting. Documents stuffed in a suitcase. And on those papers, Borland allegedly had detailed notes on every single juror from Melly's original trial. Not just names, but descriptions of what they looked like.
Defendant YNW Borland was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Borland, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Borland allegedly.
What was he planning? Nobody really knows, but let's be real, this is not a good look. Even DJ Academic said this was a dangerous move because if Borland is convicted, it could mean a life sentence for both him and YNW Melly.
For real, this is sloppy. Borland, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house. Holy sh! Like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. Like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
And now that Donald Trump has vowed to bring back death penalty again, reports are saying that if Melly is found guilty, he could be facing the penalty. The internet is split on this one. One user said, why do they always keep postponing trial dates like they have all the time in the world? They can just wrap everything up in a week and decide. Why taking so long? And honestly, that's a valid point. It's been 6 years of delays and people are tired of waiting. Another user chimed in, they are just purposely leaving this man in jail unlawfully. You have nothing against him, let him go. So, what's your take on this whole situation? Do you think YNW Melly is being held unfairly, or do you think justice is just taking its time? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.